those extreme temperatures can take a toll on your car.
I know. You know what? Temperatures in the triple digits, and we're in store for a long stretch of them. So we brought in our car expert, Frank Leutz from Desert Car Care Centers. We're talking about the heat. Not only does it take a toll on our bodies, but our cars too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it could be a nuclear meltdown with these 108-degree temperatures
Yes.
with all the rubber on your vehicle. So
it concerns so many people, myself included.
So what should we be most concerned about when we're thinking about our cars?
We've got radiator hoses here, okay? These are actually pretty worn. Now, what I've done, a lot of consumers don't realize that there's action happening inside, and you can see where that's starting to break down inside. So when you feel that hose, it's crackly and brittle, like peanut brittle. So consumers need to be aware of that. From the outside, it may not look too bad, but from the inside, it's looking horrible.
All right.
We've got belts, rubber belts. I've got to let you know that the new technology, this EPDM, rubber belts can last over the 85,000 mark and not crack like a conventional belt.
Sure.
So they wear depth-wise. So your mechanic, what he's going to do, this is a good one. I want to see if we can get a camera angle here.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah, it disappears there in the grooves.
Right. This one, depth-wise, wears. So be aware that these newer style belts, great for the consumer, they last longer, but you have no idea if they're not cracking, they're worn, they're wearing depth-wise.
Is this more costly, though?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. You know, labor's relatively the same.
Yeah.
Cost is same. This is a thumbs up for consumers, but got to be careful. They may not crack. The other thing's weekend. We may want to decide to buy a can of this rechargeable Freon and do it ourselves.
Yeah, because we all want to do it ourselves.
Absolutely. Save a couple of bucks, but what we want to be really careful for, that gauge can be confusing to most consumers. I mean, there's all kinds of levels.
I don't even know what that means.
Right. So,
Blue,
well,
red.
essentially, you know, they've marketed blue, green, and red. Now, for the most part, if you know what you're doing, you can probably get away with it, but if you're a novice, you're going to get into trouble.
Okay.
What can happen is, these AC lines, if we overcharge the system, we're going to end up blowing these weak lines.
Oh.
All right, so, and these O-rings that seat here, I've got one listed right here as it's stuck.
Thank goodness this is
right
your
here.
car.
Yes, I'm tearing it up. Those rubber O-rings are very sensitive. So the key is, you know what, if your AC's blowing warm, take it into your mechanic. It's key.
Yeah.
You know, and there's other things you can do it yourself wise. Maybe change a spare, but not recharge your AC.
Right. I could see wife coming out. What are you doing in the car?
Yes,
you know, you're trying to
my wife sees me doing that. We're all in trouble.
That's
We're all in
That's
trouble.
right.
That's why there's people like you.
I know.
Right.
You know, what would you say? I lived in the cold for a long time.
Sure.
You know, I felt bad for my car. But is the heat worse than the cold?
You know, both extreme elements can be just as bad. You know, and you know, with the heat, things tend to expand. With the cold, they tend to contract. So they, you know, extreme temperatures are just brutal on vehicles, regardless.
And tires, especially, we need to be aware of.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with rubber tires, they can crack as well as they can expand in the heat. You know, you take boiling water, you move those molecules, the same factor with air and tire pressure.
Yeah, as one mechanic once told me, the only part of your car that touches the ground, tires. So those are the ones you have to take care of the most.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's right.
Well,
Tires are key. Tires are key. You need to check it at least 3 times a year.
Okay.
And again, that air is going to expand, so it'll actually be overinflated.
Sounds like maintenance as we head into summertime.
Absolutely.
All right, Frank, you're going to stick around and join us again in the later part of our newscast, in the 8 o'clock hour, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, good. I'll put you on the spot there. I'd shake your hands.
Yes, a little dirty, it's okay.
Now he's all
I like
dirty.
the black gloves.
I got to be fashionable, wrench
Thanks.
couture.
Thanks, you got me all
I got
dirty
you
now.
again.
Perfect.